What's going on, everybody? Welcome into Blazers Uprise Live late on a Tuesday night. Thank you for joining us. Sorry the stream is so late. Been out of sorts today. Thankfully, I'm not looking like a tomato. I went to the coast this past weekend. I was sunburned and burning yesterday.
You're
and
still pretty red.
I'm still pretty red, but this is like twice as better. Okay. So just think about it, twice as worse, and that's what I was yesterday. Yeah, we're going to wrap up Summer League. I figured, why not postpone the stream to where I'm, like, not absolutely dying. And we can recap the last game of Summer League, which was today. Probably only one player that I particularly want to talk about today. And we also announced our website. We're going to get consistent written content. Eric is going to help me oversee that. So I didn't want to, announce a launch until we were confident that we could get consistent content. So, it's that dead time of year. We announced our website. If you're interested in writing for us, email us, blazersuprise@gmail.com. And if we've talked to you... Yeah, I gotta get that audio. What's that audio bar doing on the bottom? I'm all out of sorts today, guys.
It's kind of cool, actually.
Yeah, it was kind of fancy. And if I reached out to you and talked to you about writing in the past, I will follow up right now because there's some people that I already have planned to write for us. I just need to reach back out to them. So if you're one of those, expect an email sometime soon. Other than that, Eric, how was your Tuesday? See, I got the day right pretty quick. That was good.
Oh, not too bad. Got to watch some sweet dunks at least before the Blazers crapped themselves and lost that game. Mm-hmm. All it took was a little full court press and withered.
that was brutal, man.
No one could bring the ball up for some reason.
That was an impressive choke job, to be quite honest with you.
Like you tweeted, at least it wasn't a meaningful game.
Dude, I was imagining, what if the Blazers blew a game like this? What would the post-game show be like?
We'd be so mad.
Oh my goodness.
Up 9 with 2 minutes left, yeah.
Dude, it would just be different, because Stotts caused so many issues that so much of our vigor and frustration was towards Stotts. It would be weird, we probably would have been more frustrated at the players than we've ever been before. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? It would have been something else. I feel like some of you guys probably wish that happened in a regular season game just so you could see the post-game stream after that. But thankfully, it was a Summer League game. Other news today. Shout out to Mills Woj for the $5 donation. He says, no more paint it. Kevin back, baby. Appreciate the dono, Mills Woj. We can now take donos on Blazers Uprise Live. So appreciate all the support you guys give us. No more paint it. Unless Kevin starts saying it. But, I could handle Kevin saying it. It would kind of be funny if Kevin started saying it,
Oh,
man. But we all knew this news was coming. Kevin Calabro was officially announced as the play-by-play guy once again after a 1-year hiatus. We all saw this coming, and I am happy. I'm happy about it. You're happy about it too, right, Eric? What are your thoughts?
Yeah, definite upgrade over the crew last year. Once again, no offense to Jordan Kent. He was just a little in over his head. And he had a tough job having to do it most of the year without watching it live from a TV screen. So tough way to start out your play-by-play career when you have no real experience doing it that way. But Calabro is definitely step up. Even though I'm not a huge Calabro guy, but yeah, it's definitely a good announcer, according to most people.
Calabro's underrated. I feel like if he was a Portland guy through and through, people would like him more. I feel like because he was a Seattle guy, a Supersonics announcer, I feel like he gets a little bit more heat. Not heat necessarily, but he doesn't get as much love as if he was a homegrown guy. Maybe that's just some people I know. I know there's some people that I know that are kind of like, oh, he's a Seattle guy. Yeah, they hate everything Seattle. So I don't have that sort of disdain for our neighbors up north. So I don't hold that against Calabro. I like him, man. Heard I like. Kent drove me crazy last year. Mm-hmm. Absolutely crazy. It was just I'm okay with a couple catchphrases, even if they're cliche. But the dude, like, everything. And I was going back looking through highlights, like looking through Dame highlights, like every play, it was some sort of saying or some sort of cliche. It was always like, instead of saying, so-and-so got a hand on the pass, it was like, Lillard gets his mittens on the leather. It's
well, Calabro has his little sayings too.
Yeah, but I felt like Kent overdid it, and like it didn't come off as naturally as like when Calabro does it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And then you gotta love the I can't even do it. You gotta love the paint it, man. You gotta love the paint it. I will miss the paint it because it kind of became a meme. But yeah, I mean, here's the thing. Like, if you put a high school player in an NBA game and they suck, no offense to the high school player, and that's kind of what I view it as. Like, Jordan Kent didn't have any experience doing play-by-play. So, of course, if you toss him in as the play-by-play guy for an NBA team, he's not going to have the experience to do a good job, in my opinion. And some people liked him, and some people did think he did a good job. But for me, it was like the dude just, you could tell he lacked experience and didn't really have the voice for it necessarily. And he might never have the voice for it. Or he might kind of find his voice, but like just the presentation style of the play-by-play last year I wasn't a fan of it, and it's no offense to him. The dude was a rookie jumping up to the big leagues, being a play-by-play guy for an NBA team. So nothing against him whatsoever. Just happy that Calabro is back.
Yeah, I always felt like, I know he played both sports at Oregon, but he seems way more comfortable talking about football, and I felt like he was a little out of his element with basketball. So it wasn't necessarily maybe that he struggled being a play-by-play person. I just think it was the wrong sport for him to be doing it.
Yep. So Blazers, next time you need a guy to fill in, and you don't care if they have any experience whatsoever, call me. Other news, preseason schedule announced. 4 games. The 4th, 11th, 13th, and 15th. So there's one game, and then there's a week layoff. Fewer preseason games than a normal season. I was a bit surprised by that. What are your thoughts on the preseason schedule?
I kind of like the less games. They kind of had to cut it down just to help with the condensed off season. But I like it. Just get down to business.
Our post-game shows for those preseason games will be over here on Blazers Uprise Live, and then once the regular season rolls around, we will do our post-game shows back on the main channel. And we'll probably keep it... we already do Monday, Thursday during the regular season. I'm already forgetting what we do during the regular season. But here's the thing, Eric. Regular season only starts in 2 months. Preseason starts the 4th, which is in about a month and a half. A little bit more than a month and a half. We're almost around the corner. So we're like, September starts up. You got football, which I'm a big football fan, especially fantasy. I will have a stream over here on this channel when we do our fantasy football draft. Me and Eric are in a league that's been going for a few years now, so I will stream that. I know it's not basketball. I know it's not Blazer related, but why not? Could be something fun for those of you who like football. We're going to get Jared in the league. Jared, if you want to come on that stream, since you're going to be in our league. I know you got the nice camera and the nice mic now. We could have me, Eric, and you on this if you want your chance to shine. Just try and, not drop the F-bombs or anything like that. So we'll have like a fantasy football stream. Other than that, next week we're taking off because it's like the last week. I don't know. Like, I guess we could take a week off in September. I just felt like last week of August, let's take a week off. It'll be the only time of the year that we take a week off from streaming. And it's not like we need it, because I know I asked Eric about it. And Eric, you said, I don't need a break, right? Like,
yeah, I'm cool either way.
Yeah. So it's not like where I feel like we need a break or anything. I mean, we're naturals, right? As I stumble over my words today, I've been struggling with that. But why not take a week off, and we'll be back in September. Going to try and do daily content. So during that week off, I'll be recording stuff, pre-recording, trying to pre-record more than I've ever pre-recorded, and trying to get daily content all throughout September. And I will talk about what that content will be on our Thursday stream. So I will talk about kind of some plans for next season just with you guys. I won't formally announce anything, but I'll spill some secrets, so to say. So, anything else before we get into Summer League?
I think you pretty much covered it.
Yeah, tried to cover everything. So, yeah.
But, just real quick about the website. So,
yes.
Sorry announced today that the website will be officially launched on September 6th. And, yeah, we know it's been up and running for, about a year now. Or I guess only 8 months or so, but it's been up. We've talked about it before. We just haven't officially promoted it or anything since we haven't had consistent content on there. And that'll be my job, is to make sure that content is good and we have all kinds of articles and stuff consistently on there. And so I will take that very seriously, and I hope you guys enjoy that.
Yep. It's just another platform to, get out more content. Here's the thing. Here's why it's starting a website is a little bit daunting to me, because there's a standard that me and you have, Eric, for how we cover the game and whatnot. And if you guys follow us on Twitter, articles will be dropped elsewhere, and it's just ugh, this isn't a good article, or you know what I mean? So it's tough when we're looking for writers, but it's almost like our standard is it is. Our standard is high. You know what I mean? So it's it's kind of tough, and I don't want to be too hard on our writers or anything, because it's people that maybe have never done this before. We're looking for people that maybe have a little bit of experience, or at least can put together solid content and hopefully know the game of basketball. So that's kind of been the tough part, is how do we get a stable of writers and kind of live up to that standard? You know what I mean? But if you want to write for us, we'll be very, it's not going to be a situation where it's you misspell a word and Eric is cussing you out or anything. You know what I mean? We'll be, I want it to be fun for the people writing. I want it to be fun, and if they, maybe want to get into writing in the future, or have plans of maybe going to college or in college for journalism or something like that, hopefully it could be work that they could reference. And, if you ever apply for something bigger in the future, I would gladly be a reference for you if you're writing for us. So that's kind of the whole, the whole thought process with that. But, it's just a way to kind of grow the brand outside of just the YouTube stuff.
Yep. And so, Clayton, for now, no, it'll not be a paying position, but who knows if we blew up maybe someday.
Yeah, it's really hard to pay, because it's not really easily, it's not as monetizable as YouTube. So it's sort of a situation where if you're writing for us, there's no requirements on any sort of articles. You can write in your own time. Just if you come forward with an idea, an article idea with Eric will approve it, or maybe suggest something a little different, whatever. And then you will be able, if you have an idea for an article that you want to get out in the next couple of days, we would hope that you would be able to do that before, if it's some covering some trade rumors, it doesn't make sense to get it out 5 days after the rumor's already kind of dead. You know what I mean? So but other than that, it'll basically just be you write as much or as little as you want. Just everything has to be ran through Eric. So, no pay, but it's not something where we're requiring you to do anything. You can write once a month. You can write once every couple of months. We would want people that would want to write more than that. We want people that are enthusiastic about, kind of being a part of the platform. So, we hope that you would want to write more than that, but there wouldn't be any requirements, because if we're not, paying you to write, we can't require you to do anything. That's not fair at all. So that's kind of the whole gist of it, is just for people that want to write, as often or as little as they want, they will have that platform. And maybe we'll be able to give you guys a couple perks, along the way as a reward, something like that. We'll think that up. We're just not there yet.
Yep, for sure.
So,
what's up, Damani?
Yep. What's up, Damani? Let's talk Summer League if you are ready.
Yes.
Clayton says free T-shirt. I'll talk merch on Thursday We'll be talking a bunch of stuff on Thursday related to the channel, not related to basketball, so stay tuned for that. But, yes, Summer League. Eric, let's talk Mr. Greg Brown III, who got some love from LeBron James on Twitter today, which is just... I mean, that's cool. That was a bit surprising. I don't know why he was watching Rockets versus Blazers Summer League basketball and Jalen Green wasn't playing, but, pretty cool. Greg Brown throws down a between-the-legs Will Barton-esque dunk on the fast break. Makes it look easy. Threw it down with some power, too. It wasn't a rim grazer. He threw that down. Sorry for the mic bleed for a second, Jared. I don't know what that was. But Greg Brown, man, he's been impressive. He was very impressive today. He will have a role in the NBA as at least an athletic hustle guy that can cut and finish around the basket and can hit the occasional three. Right? I don't see how this guy does not develop into a role player, given what I've seen in Summer League. I am much higher on Greg Brown than I was before the Summer League, and I wasn't down on him going into Summer League. Now I am extremely high on him. I'm looking back at this like, this is a great pick. This is a steal. Good job, Neil Olshey.
Yeah, and in the second half, he had several cuts to the basket where he got a feed from someone, and he threw down pretty easy dunks. And then he had one off a rebound, a tip dunk that was pretty cool as well. But to do it between the legs, not only to do it in a game, but when he caught the ball, he was pretty close to the rim. He only took one, maybe two steps, and he's doing a between the legs dunk. A lot of people have to get more of a running start with the ball than that. So very impressive athleticism there. And I think that just shows you the intrigue and why we picked him. Why we picked him where we did, why we traded for him. And, and then after the game, he was praising how good of a coach Chauncey was and how, he's in a really good situation. He's so glad he's in Portland and all this stuff. So I think based on some of those clips we've seen of Chauncey working with him, but not being too hard on him, but also, telling him he needs to be better, but, in a way that's, respectful and I think he's just got a really good temperament for a guy like Greg Brown, and I think that if Chauncey puts that on him to develop guys like that, it's really exciting because I feel like in the past, while guys have developed under Stotts, it hasn't really been I want this guy to succeed and succeed sooner rather than later. It's more like, oh, well, if he comes in and gives us something, that's fine, but we're not going to count on that, So, it's more on the players to develop, I felt in Stotts, and some of them did anyway, but I feel like it's not going to be for lack of coaching if Greg Brown doesn't succeed. Yep.
Given the coaching and how young he is and the flashes he's showing, I'm ready for a hot take, Eric.
All right.
Are you ready for a hot take, chat? Because here comes a hot take. Greg Brown, in my opinion, has a higher ceiling than Anthony Simons and Nasir Little.
Okay.
Do you agree, chat? Do you disagree? Curious to see what your thoughts are on that. Maybe that isn't such a hot take. What are your thoughts on that, Eric?
I don't think that's necessarily a hot take.
I thought I was going out on a limb because everybody loves Nas and Ant.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, people love those two guys too, but Greg Brown's a little bigger, right? So if you have that athleticism, the bigger you are, the more likely I think it is for you to do it. Yeah, you do a poll.
All right. Yes, yeah. I'll do it.
I don't know. It's the reason why I wouldn't 100% agree is because I've seen flashes of Nas being able to do much more things, whereas with Brown, it's more of a projection other than just because he's athletic and stuff. But I don't think that's that crazy of a take.
Well, here's the thing. Here's the thing that people have to remember, and I'll look this up. Nasir Little is 21 years old, 21 and a half, turned 21 on February 11th. Greg Brown is 19 years old. He turns 20 on September 1st. So he's a little bit more than... He's like a year and 8 months younger. Like, I don't know, man. Given what I'm seeing and how confident I am in Chauncey and being able to develop him, like when he's Nas's age, I think he'll be at least a role player for sure. And I'm expecting Nas to be a role player next year. It's just like, here's why I'm high on him, man. It's, you can't teach fluidity. You can't teach athleticism. You can maybe work on becoming a more athletic player, but it's not something that's easy to work on. Okay, so we knew he was an athlete. I didn't realize like how fluid he was. He looks pretty quick. He has to get better with the ball. Like, he's raw offensively, but that's something that's like most players improve on. So it's like, I don't know, man, given his athleticism, but also his fluidity, his agility, the way he moves, and then I think he has a lot of defensive potential that I didn't really realize when scouting him before the draft. Mm-hmm. Like, that's why I'm high on his potential, because he blocked a shot today protecting the rim that I don't know how he blocked, and I'm not sure anybody else on this roster blocks that shot or has the capability of blocking that shot.
Maybe Derek Jones.
Maybe Derek Jones. Yeah. But it's like the dude is bigger than Derek Jones. You know what I mean? The dude is stronger than Derek Jones. Like, the dude is maybe already a better shooter than Derek Jones. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, if he can... Like, he has to become a smarter defender, but, like, he seems like a guy that could maybe protect the rim as well as switch out onto guards and have the foot speed to at least be competitive. You know, it's not a guy that you're going to want to match up consistently against guards because he's a big, but it's like, defensively, I don't see any area of the defensive side of the floor where it's like, yeah, he won't be good there. Yeah, he, like, I don't know. I think he has, especially under Chauncey, he has a high chance of becoming a good defensive player, which I didn't view him like that before the draft.
Yeah, the only thing I'll say is I haven't seen enough of him to know if he has the mental capacity for that. And I'm not saying he seems dumb or anything. I just haven't seen enough of him other than that block today, like off ball, help wise. But yeah, like you said,
but that's
pretty
coachable.
Confident in the coaching situation. Yeah. So, but you still have to be an elite defender, you still have to have some sort of basketball IQ there, not just athleticism. So, I mean, there's been plenty of guys who have had just as much athleticism and have fizzled out. But yeah, so I just want to see a little more of him making like smart reads and doing the right thing. Eventually that'll come. But I think Anthony and Nas have a definite leg up on that right now based on what I've seen. But like you said, the coaching could make the difference.
Yeah, and they're also 2 and 3 years into their NBA careers respectively.
Mm-hmm. Right.
You know, so I don't know. Like, that's the thing. In Summer League, I'm just looking for tools. Mm-hmm. And I'm looking for maybe some instinctual stuff. But it's like, him rotating and blocking that shot, you know, like, Myers was athletic and big. Like, like, in terms of who he was as a physical specimen, he would have the capability of blocking that shot. But even if you throw Myers in Summer League, he is not blocking that shot. You know what I mean? Like, Greg Brown's a quick jumper. He's athletic. He can get up. Like, that's encouraging for me. And there was nothing that I saw where I was like, yeah, he doesn't have the instincts. You throw Myers Leonard out there, even in a Summer League, you would be like, yeah, that man does not know where to be on the defensive side of the floor. I didn't see that. Now, I mean, throw him up against NBA caliber athletes, maybe it's a different story. I don't want to get, like, too far ahead of myself. I'm hyping him up a ton right now. But it's like, it's just looking at the tools and looking at the foundation to work off of. He won't even be hitting his prime until 2030. He will be 28 years old in 2030, Eric. Like, the dude's 19 years old. So I'm just looking at, like, does he have a foundation to build off of? And defensively, I think he does. Offensively, he looks like he can handle the ball a bit. He can shoot a bit. He's athletic. He had some impressive cuts today. Like, he looks like a guy that can play off the ball in transition. He should be a threat running the floor. The thing for him offensively is learning how to pick and choose his spots and how to attack off the dribble without getting tunnel vision and being out of control.
Yep.
If he can learn how to do that, he will be, in my opinion, a really good offensive player.
Mm-hmm.
And I think he will be able to learn in that regard.
He had some impressive rebounds today too, which is encouraging to see as well. The playmaking ability is always intriguing because if you're that big and athletic and you find a way to become even just an average to respectable passer, it opens up those lanes so much more for you. And he had a couple drives today where you had a perfect tweet about it where you said he kind of telegraphed his move, but he was still quick enough to almost get by people. So you can get away with that if you have the threat of passing, but if you're kind of tunnel visioned, like someone will talk about later on in the show, you're not going to really get those opportunities as much. So defense and passing, if he can find a way to do those combined with all those other things he's shown so far, that guy could become pretty much the steal of this draft.
Yep. Here's the thing. He seems like he has a feel on the offensive end. We'll thank the donuts in a sec. I just noticed those. It seems like he has a feel on the offensive end. He just gets too sped up. Mm-hmm. There's certain guys where they'll make turnovers, they'll make bad plays because it's like they don't have a feel for the offensive end of the floor. Yeah. I think that is CJ Ellaby. I don't think that's the case with Greg Brown. I just think he gets way too sped up because he's used to being quick, athletic, physical freak, and just getting by on that. But it's not a situation where he can't get by with his skill set because at the age of 19, with his size and athleticism, his skill set is at a pretty good spot, in my opinion. It's not if he's dribbling the ball up the court as a 19-year-old rookie, I mean, he'll be 20 once preseason starts. If he's dribbling the ball up the court, I'm not cringing. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? I would rather have him dribbling the ball up the court than Al-Farouq Aminu or Maurice Harkless, even though he's 19. Oh, yeah. And that's not, you know what I mean? But I know that's not saying a lot, but it kind of is when you're talking about a 19-year-old rookie who is as raw as people say he is.
Yeah.
So.
Well, 56% of the people agree with you so far.
I thought it was a hot take, man. But that's the thing too is Chauncey is the perfect guy to teach him how to read the game. Mm-hmm. How to read the game and read and react and he is the perfect prospect for Chauncey. In my opinion, Chauncey's the perfect coach for him. I'm excited, man. It's going into this draft without a pick to get a guy like him. It's exciting. It's exciting. Everyone's all they did was add Zeller and McLemore and, they didn't add anybody. I feel 5 years from now we could be looking back oh my goodness, they got Greg Brown in the second round. I don't know. Nas and Greg Brown in the future as our 3 and 4, they might not become what we think they can, but in terms of their ceiling, it's exciting. It's exciting.
Well, I mean, Ant was picked, 25th or something? 24th?
24th, and then Nas was 25th.
Yeah, so, I mean, that's people always say, we have no future when those stupid things come out, team's future and stuff like that. Now we have all our own picks, and we have those 3 guys. I think it's a lot higher than people give it credit for.
Yep. So I'm happy about that. Iverson asked, what's your player comparison for Greg Brown if you had one?
Well, it's going to kind of change after today. I was saying I kind of this wasn't my player comparison, but I heard it at the draft and a Jeremy Grant type. But he's definitely more athletic than Jeremy Grant. I'm not saying he'd be better than Jeremy Grant, but he's a little more athletic than him.
Chad, give us your comparisons, your NBA comparisons for Greg Brown, because I feel there's probably 1 or 2 really good ones, but I can't think of them. Rudy Gay, I would not say Rudy Gay. No offense if I disagree with y'all. I'll just be honest. I don't. Rudy Gay was an ISO scorer, and that was it, and wasn't the most athletic guy. Stromile Swift. Yeah, I never watched Stromile Swift. That's an Eric comparison.
It's not a bad comparison, but he was more of a center, and yeah,
Ooh,
kind of flamed out of the league. But
Amare, like a young Amare Stoudemire.
maybe
I
I
honestly, I can kind of see that, but like a more perimeter oriented Amari Stoudemire,
like,
a
well,
little shorter.
yeah, yeah. I used that comparison up too much last year with Obi.
Yeah, yeah. Jason Tatum, no, no. Trevin, LeBron James, Tyus Thomas, Sean Kemp. Is that a good one?
That's not bad. Yeah, that's not bad. Kemp was a really underrated defender too. I mean, at least before he got fat. But
Dame exclamation point! You have 10 seconds to delete that comment before you get a 5-minute ban. This isn't Twitter. Peyton Pritchett. Yeah, you guys are just trolling Iverson, Kelchin. Oh my goodness. John Collins isn't a bad one.
mm-hmm. Yeah, I like that
Like
one too.
yeah, I think he's more athletic than John Collins. A little shorter, a little more athletic, a little better ball handler, probably. But in terms of John Collins isn't bad.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Let me take the donos. Don and Jay Tor. Or is it Tori? We've had this conversation with Don and Jay.
Football
I'm just
nerds.
going to say Don and Jay. Don and Jay with a 100. Eric, what's the currency?
Rupees.
Rupees. Don and Jay with a 100 rupee donation. He says, now that it's clear we keep CJ, does that mean our second unit won't be that bad as some say it will be, or is Simon's capable of leading the second unit? Why do people think our second unit's going to be bad? Our second unit, it's better. It's going to run better offense. Our second unit was so insanely stagnant. It's like Anthony was trying to bail us out, or it was like Melo save us one-on-one in the mid-range for a fadeaway 2, which he was not efficient on last year. And then it was like Canner getting... Canner during the regular season was better than Canner in the playoffs defensively, but like he was not a good defender last year. Like, let's not joke around about that. Like, the second unit last year was bad. This year, Anthony should be better. I'm confident in Nas. Derrick Jones Jr. and Cody Zeller potentially at the 4 and 5. I know people were like, oh, Derrick Jones Jr. too small to play the 4. Off the bench, I think he's fine. He has a really long wingspan.
Well, so does Nas.
Yeah, and so does Nas. So it's like, you go from a mellow Cantor pairing in a super stagnant offense to a Derrick Jones Jr. and Cody Zeller pairing in an offense that should move the ball and should help generate good shots for the bench unit. And you still have CJ leading that. Like, our second unit is going to be fine. I think our second unit is going to be better than it has been in years. Maybe better than it has ever been under Stotts.
Well, here's the thing for me. We don't have to play the rotations exactly how Stotts did it either.
Yeah.
So, I mean, oftentimes, other than CJ, Stotts was just like sub the whole bench, and we'd have like 4 bench players in there and CJ, and then like the starters would come back in or whatever. Well, we don't have to do that anymore. We can. That's why I think people are like a little too crazy about the 3-guard thing too. It's like, you don't have to play them all that much together. Just because they're starting doesn't mean we play 36 minutes with them together. So, like, bring in someone early. Like, bring in a Zeller early for Nurk and let Nurk run with the second unit sometimes. And, mix in Snell and, I don't know about McLemore, but, like, those guys can shoot and they're plug and play in pretty much any lineup. So, like, you have things that you can do where you have shooters, you have defenders, you have enough playmaking. I think if you mix the lineups together to where the playmaking issue might not be that bad, and we don't have to sit there and feed one person or hope that they're hot like we did with Melo last year. That was like basically our entire second unit, where if Melo was not like having a good game and Cantor was not getting every offensive rebound, like we struggled to score. So I think it's going to be fine. I mean, I'd obviously like them to sign one more player just to have a little bit more depth, because if there's injuries, especially in our front court right now. We only have 2 centers, so we definitely need a third big, I feel like. But other than that, like, yeah, I agree with you. This team is going to be I mean, I don't think there's a lot of weaknesses in that lineup unless like one of the guys like Nas or Ant just like regressed for some reason, but I don't really see that happening. So,
well, here's the thing. Reese says, I just don't like the playmaking off the bench. I think it's a fine bench. In a motion offense, you're not as reliant upon individual playmakers as you are in a stagnant offense. Like, that was the problem, is Stotts ran a stagnant offense, and then we didn't have enough individual playmakers to bail it out. It resulted in Anthony trying to go one-on-one, which, like, he's not there yet in that part of his game. Hopefully he'll take a jump this year. But that was the issue, is A, it was stagnant offense, and B, like, CJ was the only guy that could consistently, effectively create a shot for himself and others. I know people say, Melo can create his own shot. He wasn't really creating shots for others, and he settled for a lot of mediocre, inefficient shots last year. He was most efficient when people were creating for him, and he was spotting up on the three-point line. So that was the problem with the bench last year, is because of the way the offense was ran, because Terry Stotts was the coach, we needed multiple playmakers, and we didn't have that. This year, under Chauncey Billups, I expect the offense to be much more motion-oriented, and I expect the offense to help generate good shots just through the structure of the offense and what they're running. So in that situation, you're not as reliant on one player or 2 players to constantly create everything. So that's why I'm not concerned about something like that. That's why I'm not sitting here like, oh, we need to sign a backup point guard like Raul Neto to play 12 minutes off the bench behind Dame because Anthony can't handle it. You put Anthony as a point guard in a motion offense where he just has to bring the ball up and initiate it, he'll be completely fine. You put him in a Terry Stotts offense where it's super stagnant and he has to try and create something out of nothing against a set defense constantly, it's not really going to work, and he's going to look a lot worse as a point guard. So that was the issue last year, and that's why I'm not worried about that aspect of our bench going into the season under Chauncey Billups.
Honestly, I wouldn't mind. That's why, like, when we talk about an emergency, like, third guard, I don't want someone who's good enough to get or need minutes, but I want someone who's good enough to play if he has to. And those guys are a little tougher to find. Like a couple years ago, like Trey Burke is an example of that guy who gets waived and then gets picked up by Dallas and has a pretty good end of the season, kind of helps him out a little bit, but didn't necessarily command playing time when you picked him up, right? He like earned it with his play. So I wouldn't mind having someone like that at the end of our bench. We'll talk about that later, what we should use our last roster spots on. But yeah, I agree with you that especially because we know CJ is going to play in the second unit. Yeah, and we have Norm talking about how he's got some playmaking ability that he wasn't allowed to show this year either. So maybe there's some hidden potential there as well. But yeah, it's just, I don't know, between having Nurk and Zeller, who are both good passers at the center spot, and if you kind of groom maybe Nas into being a good passer, I think there's some definite potential there to be an okay playmaking team despite not having like an elite playmaker on that roster.
Yeah, I 100% agree. Dude, I'm so excited. I am like, I don't know why it, like, because it already set in, but it's like it kind of set in again that Terry Stotts is gone. Like, I'm just excited to watch the type of basketball we play for the first time in years. For the first time in years. And we got a couple Suns fans in here, man. They don't, I mean, maybe they understand the pain. They went through some struggles there, but it's just like,
years ago.
Yeah, it's just like, if we had Chauncey for multiple years and played a good style of basketball, I wouldn't really be like excited to watch the way we play. It'd just be like, well, we play a good brand of basketball, so we should expect that next year. And like, you can enjoy it on a game-to-game basis, but it's like, given how long we've gone without playing, in my opinion, a good style of basketball, it's like, hallelujah. We're going to be able to talk about things they're doing right from a schematic standpoint. And sure, they might make some mistakes, but it'll be like, okay, this is where they can get better. And we can say that, trusting that the coaching staff is actually like, okay, maybe we need to improve this.
Yeah.
Because I think we have a coaching staff that isn't completely scared to take any sort of responsibility. Dude, like, the coaching, it's an upgrade. I don't even need to see Chauncey, like, coach, okay? Just listening to him talk and seeing how bad Stotts was, he's going to be an upgrade. Now, how big of an upgrade? We don't know. We kind of need him to be a really big upgrade, but it's certainly possible. And he's, like, everything he said, he's just like, yes. And I'm just getting excited for next season, man. It's gonna be so much fun. Like, because it's funny, because Salty is in here. Shout out Salty. He's like, what about drop scheme? Is that gone? Chauncey's talking about, like, we're undersized, so we need to play a more aggressive defense. We need to be more aggressive on the perimeter. We need to be scrappy to make up for it.
Aggressive, yeah.
What did you say all year last year, Eric?
If you don't have the personnel to run a good defense, if you don't have a good defensive personnel, you have to be aggressive. You have to put pressure on the ball, and we did not do that at all.
Yeah, and you have to switch things up. You have to keep offenses off balance. And Chauncey defensively sounds like he's going to coach exactly like we wanted the defense coached. Honestly, everything Chauncey Billups has said has been like everything we've been saying. The way it seems like he's going to coach is like exactly how we want the team to be coached. So, like, there's nothing I can look at and just be like, I don't like it. Like, he's sitting here talking about, like, yeah, I don't want to, just, this is paraphrasing, but basically, we don't want to just settle for threes all game. We don't want to shoot 50 threes a game. And how many times last year did I say how much I hated we just missed threes as an excuse? It's like, if you're missing a bunch of threes, don't keep settling for mediocre threes. Because that's what we did so many times last year. And it's like, we have so much offensive talent that grades out as a good offense during the regular season, but it's just like, dude, it's like our offense honestly should be in the running for the number one offense in the league, given the talent we have. And I think there's a chance we're the best offense in the league this year, because I think we're going to improve. Hopefully that doesn't bite me in the butt, but like, dude, I'm thrilled. I couldn't be happier. So watch out, Suns.
I don't think it could be. I don't see why we get worse this year.
Yeah, I don't know how. And I think the roster's, like, here's the thing. The roster, for as much heat as Olshey gets and yada yada, yeah, I wish he pulled off a big move. It sounds like Siakam wasn't available, and everybody, like, Morey wants, half the galaxy for Ben Simmons. Like, there wasn't even necessarily a big trade there to be made. Jeremy Grant didn't get traded. It's like, I know everybody wanted the big splash, and so did I, but this roster is better. We had CJ and Nurkic miss a bunch of time last year, and we obviously upgraded the coach. And we were tied for 5th last year, weren't we?
For what?
We were tied with the Mavericks for 5th last year, right?
Yeah, I believe so. When they had the tiebreaker.
Yeah, we were tied for 5th last year with all of that. Mm-hmm. So it's like, all these people saying the Blazers are going to miss the playoffs, and, they're going to take a step back, and Dame's going to demand a trade.
All the other teams got better. Which last stream we talked about every Western Conference team. And if you include coaching, I don't see how anybody outside of LA or Golden State you could say got better than the Blazers, right? Even if you think Chauncey's a marginal upgrade. A lot of Western Conference teams did nothing this year, okay? So it's like we're tied for 5th with all that, and somehow we're going to fall out of the playoffs when we've made it like 8 years in a row under Terry Stotts? Nah. Like, I don't see how we get worse. I agree with that. I think we're going to be in the running for home court advantage. I think there's a chance we get a 2 or a 3 seed and kind of surprise people like the Jazz did last year. Mm-hmm. Yep, I agree.
Yep.
Salty is saying the Suns got better.
I'm not saying the Suns didn't get better, but they didn't. They didn't get that much better.
It's incremental if they did. So they lost Javon Carter, who wasn't used very effectively or much at all. Gave up their pick. they added Shamit, so they have a shooter now. But honestly, like, how many minutes is he going to get?
They don't have Saric.
Saric will be out for the year. McGee is definitely an upgrade over not having a backup center at all. But that's not like, I don't know.
He wasn't even playing in the playoffs.
But we also saw Chris Paul kind of wear down in the playoffs and at the end of the year like he normally does. But this is and now back to an 82 game season versus 72. I don't know. I mean,
and he's what, 37 now?
Yeah, I think losing Torrey Craig is going to be a big loss for them. But I mean, I like what they did this offseason. I don't think you can say like they're definitely better. Like, I don't know, they're at worst the same maybe, but yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, like I would take the Blazers going from Terry Stotts to Chauncey Billups in the same roster over that. Because I think that's a huge upgrade. Okay, but then also swapping out a disastrous Melo and Kanter pairing for Derrick Jones Jr. and Cody Zeller. It's not flashy, but it's an upgrade. Like, Melo and Kanter was the worst 4-5 pairing defensively that I've seen in years. Okay, and like, I don't know, like Melo had moments. Melo had games where it'd be like, wow, Melo's actually playing decent defense. And then you'd have games where it's just like, this dude is just completely like slow, not trying. Like, I don't know, he had some terrible defensive moments, but when you paired him with Kanter, it compounded. So, yeah, you add McGee. Elfrid Payton is a non-factor for me. I think Suns fans are overrating him a little bit. He's a non-factor. He's not going to play in the playoffs. He's going to be the Javon Carter. So they got Shamit and McGee, lost Torrey Craig, lost Dario Saric, and Chris Paul is a year older, and you kind of expect him to take a little bit of a step back at 37, especially after playing as much as he did this past year. I think... I'm not saying you guys got worse, but I don't know if you guys got better. So, I mean, we'll see. You're very well coached, and if Ayton can take another step, then yeah. Here's the thing with, like, Jalen Smith. Is he going to be better than Saric? I don't know. I don't think, like...
play.
Yeah, but it's like, if you're talking about Jalen Smith taking a step, we could talk about Nasir Little and Anthony Simons taking a step. So I wasn't even, like, counting, like, young players taking a step up. Because every team has young players that could take a step up. Taylor Horton-Tucker, Terrence Mann, the list goes on. So
there is something to be said about it's possible that them going on a run to the finals, a lot of players get a lot more confident and they believe in themselves more. They believe in the system now 100%. I mean, it seemed like most people were bought in, but I mean, there are some teams that reach that point and then stay there. So I don't think that's. I mean, to say they're the same as a team that made the finals last year isn't an insult like Saltius seems to be taking it.
yeah. Like, I'm not saying you guys got worse, man. I would take the Blazers. Like, I think the Blazers got better, but the Blazers had a little bit more room for improvement. So it's not a knock on you guys at all. Like, I feel like if I'm a Suns fan, I would be happy if Jalen Smith could provide what Dario Saric provided last year. So it's just a situation where it's like, I'm not going to put him above the Blazers. I'm not, because I'm taking coaching into account. So
yeah, I was on. So I joined the Valley Pod for Saturday's Blazer Suns game, and I kind of talked Gabe into thinking that maybe trading for like a Thad Young wasn't a bad idea. So I laid out the reasons why I thought if the Saric and Jalen Smith for Thad Young was on the table, how much that would help them. And I still think that that's a possibility for them to make a trade like that. And then all of a sudden you're talking about having Thad Young and JaVale McGee as your backup 4 or 5.
Then it's a conversation. Yeah, then it's definitely a conversation. For sure. But
I don't know if Jalen Smith's going to play enough.
Yeah, like, I mean, honestly, I don't know if I'd take Jalen Smith over Greg Brown. But obviously I'm biased. But, I mean, I don't know, man. Like, I don't know. I've been hyping up Greg Brown all stream. Here's the one last thing, and then I'll thank some donos because we gotta catch up on the donos. Sorry, y'all.
You were talking all year about how people were hyping up Nas too much, and no, you're like the ultimate hype leader.
But here's the thing: there's like people out there who every young player, no matter what, they hype them up, right? I don't just hype guys up to hype guys up. I hype guys up when I like what I'm seeing, and I try to be objective. So there's a lot of people in this community that are like that. You know, there's just, I don't know, man. It's like when Nas gets overhyped, it's like he's a future all-star. Like that's overhyping him. I'm not saying that about Greg Brown. I think he has an all-star ceiling. Different context there. See, but some people ignore the context, but yeah, just I'll lead. You can lead the Anthony train. Reese can. No, wait, Reese doesn't. Who's our biggest Nas fan here?
Well, it would have been it's Trevin probably.
Yeah, Trevin can lead the Nas train. Krish can lead the Norman Powell train, and yeah, I'll lead the Greg Brown train. I'm down with that. But here's the final thing I want to say on the Suns. Like, you were talking about, like, oh, and teams, once they get to that level, you know, they play with more confidence and whatnot, but there's all other teams that get far in the playoffs, and the next year they don't have the same chip on their shoulder. For example, the Portland Trailblazers after making the Western Conference Finals in 2019. Now, I don't expect the Suns to be like that, but that's also something you always have to watch out for.
Mm-hmm.
So, just wanted to put that out there. Let's thank donos. Dro, $5 dono. Sorry, I think you donated like a while ago. Sorry, we ramble. I'm still not used to having donations. Yeah, I have them all. I'm still not used to having donations on Blazers Press Live because we just go and ramble and just conversate. It flows, you know. So Dro, appreciate you, bro. $5 dono. Greg Brown is impressive. Let's see how he does during training camp. I give him 25 plus minutes in preseason, get his feet wet. Stotts never played the youth. And I am confident that Chauncey will, like, play these guys in preseason. I'm confident, like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know, I'm saying, like, too much. I'm confident that Chauncey will give Greg Brown the minutes that we want him to get in preseason.
Yeah. I'm also confident that if Greg Brown deserves and earns minutes in the regular season, he'll get them as well. I think Billups will play whoever deserves it, not whoever the vets are, whoever is paid their dues in the NBA and has to play, you know.
Yep. Appreciate it, Dro. Don and Jay, 100 rupee donation, says Watford has gone under the radar. What about him? Bit off topic, but will Dame make the top 75 for NBA's 75th anniversary? Thoughts on Watford?
Well, he
didn't play much today. Or did he play at all today?
No, they sat him out today.
Yeah.
No idea why. He tweeted right at the beginning of the game with a facepalm emoji. So he was obviously mad that he was not going to get to play today. I don't really know what the reasoning for that is, because it's not like we played, like, Fareed didn't play either, so we didn't have any, like, size or big guys.
What, Mark Vidal isn't enough size for you,
Well,
Eric?
I mean, he's big in a width way, not
yeah.
a lot of tall way.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I was a little disappointed not to see him today, but I think they understand what they have in him, and I'm glad they picked a guy like that as a two-way. I'm hoping they still use their other two-way on someone that they liked, maybe even from another team in Summer League. Got to get another player there, and then yeah, we still have the open roster spot, but yeah, I like what I saw from Watford. He still is a project and needs a lot of work, but he definitely has a passing skill that can lead to him being a role player in the NBA. Don't know if he'll get there or not, but I definitely see some potential there with him.
Yeah, which is all you're looking for on a two-way contract. It's a much better two-way contract than Kelvin Bledgens and TJ Leaf.
Yeah.
It's better than those two. So you know, it's actually nice to be like, intrigued by a two-way prospect. That's better than the normal. No, it's not sanitizing. Come on, Eric Olson. I mean, somebody should be able to figure out what it is. Shout out to... Oh, the other part of the question was, will Dame make the top 75 for NBA's 75th anniversary?
I think it's going to be close. I have him barely in. Kind of depends on how they do it. If they redo the whole 75, I think he might end up making it. If they just add 25, and don't include anyone who played, prior. So if they didn't include Dominique Wilkins or Bob McAdoo or Reggie Miller, those type that were kind of fringe on the top 50 to begin with, then maybe he has a better chance. But it's definitely, I think there's about 30 to 35 players that could possibly get it, and Dame is definitely one of those players. So it's going to be close, but I don't know for sure if he'll make it or who's voting or how they'll do that process. So I think that'll factor into it a little bit, but it's hard to ignore what he's done the last few years, especially.
Yep, my answer to that is I don't know. Shout out Apple's goat. I can't talk. Apple's goat. $2 Australian donation. He says, am I the only one who likes Snell's fit? Not at all. Snell's a really good three-point shooter that can play a little bit of defense. Mm-hmm. Having that is I think Nas should get a chance over him, but I trust Chauncey. In previous years, Snell would have definitely played over Nas next year under Terry Stotts, even if he absolutely did not deserve to play over Nas. With Chauncey, I am confident that I'll make the right decision, so whoever he plays, I'll just roll with it, right? I want Nas to win it out because I think Nas is higher upside, and I hope that Nas is far enough along where he gets minutes over Tony Snell. But for assuming Nas beats him out for a 10th guy, he's a pretty solid player, a guy you can throw in there, and he's not going to make mistakes. He's not going to try and do too much. He's not going to go Kent Blazemore all the time, He's not going to go Mario Hezonja 1-on-3 down the court. That's the thing is, he's not a flashy name, but he's a guy who you don't have to worry about, and you can plug him in, and he can space the court, and he can be serviceable enough on defense. And that gets underrated. It's people forget having Mario Hezonja, who got burnt on defense all night long, and then offensively was just a train wreck waiting to happen. He made Al-Farouq Aminu look like LeBron James. People forget how bad that was. It's Snell's boring. Well, you know what? I'll take boring over an absolute train wreck, even though the train wreck can be kind of funny sometimes. So I like Snell's fit, for sure.
Yeah, I like him, especially for a minimum contract. And, I keep seeing memes about how bad our offseason was. And, you have the Pawn Stars guys, the best I can do is Tony Snell. Well, that's not bad. I mean, I really like Snell. He's a guy who...
Let me rephrase that before people are what do you mean that is the whole offseason isn't bad? It's not bad for the 10th guy on a minimum signing. Right? That's the context that's important there.
And especially if we made a trade during the season, I feel confident that he could step in and help out that depth and play a role if we lost some of that in a trade. So, I think... Are you playing the stream, on your phone?
Nope.
Yeah. Jackson's hearing it twice or something. But yeah, Snell's a great shooter. I believe he's a career for around 40%. Was obviously over 50% last year. And, I feel confident in him spacing the floor. And he's a good defender within the concept of a team defense, which is something we've lacked in the past as well. So maybe not the best individual defender, but I feel really confident that within Billups schemes and stuff that he'll be a plus defender for us.
Yep. For anybody hearing echoes, I don't know what that is. But I mean, Eric is coming through my headphones, but he normally always is, so I don't know why that's a thing now, but I don't know. So I'll move my mic around and readjust cords here. I don't know. If it's very, very faint, then hopefully it's not a problem.
Are you on your headphone mic?
What do you mean? No.
Yeah.
I just have my headphones plugged into my mic.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is, man. Watch, like, nobody noticed it, and now that Jackson said something, everybody's gonna notice it.
Yeah.
But, yeah, so hopefully it's better now. I don't know, but it could just be Eric coming through my headphones, but it's not like he's... If you only hear it when Eric talks, then it's probably Eric just coming through my headphones, but he's not turned up loud or anything, so... I moved this other headphone, it was down, like, kind of close to my mic, so I'll just throw it here. But that's probably what it is. Shout out to Dro, another $5 dono. He says, Chauncey has something to prove. Stotts thought he had nothing to prove. Adjustments will be made every game. We are 12 deep. If Greg Brown plays well, I like it. I agree. Here's the thing. Is it's like, Chauncey hasn't gotten stuck in his ways because he hasn't coached before. That's why I kind of like having a new coach, because he's going to, like, experiment and probably try and find the best way to coach this team, where Stotts was just like, it's my way or the highway, and if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. That was Stotts' attitude towards everything. So it's like, it goes beyond just, having something to prove, but it helps that Chauncey's a new coach, because it's, he has something to prove, and he's not too comfortable, essentially. So I agree with that, but I also just think he's a brighter basketball mind. I think he's, even if he had nothing to prove, I would still have confidence in him over Terry.
Yep. And, see, everyone kills Olshey for his press conferences, but to me, he said the right things. He hired Billups because the upside is there, and it wouldn't have been there with most other coaches they could have hired. And there's an upside with Billups that he could be one of the top coaches in the league. And that doesn't exist with other coaches. I don't see the problem with it, but I'm hearing it in my head.
Are you?
Yeah.
Why?
I don't know.
Well, that doesn't make sense.
Everyone's saying it's worse now.
It's worse? I moved my mic further away. I don't know what. Okay, well, new problem. New YouTube problem. Huh. That's strange. I don't know, chat. It shouldn't be Eric's mic. I don't hear it. I guess it's on my end. I don't know. Very strange. Eric says, I don't know. I don't hear an echo. Yeah, I mean, we're just going to have to live with it, I guess. If it's a problem next stream, we'll try and sort it out. I don't even know what to try and do, though. Like, I don't know why that's happening. So, usually only hear it when Eric gets muted. That doesn't make sense. Yeah, that makes sense if Eric's muted, because he still comes through my headphones, so that's why you would hear him, and I'm not talking, so it'd be very quiet. Dro, yes, I got sunburnt, so, bro, that's what this was. Jared and, I forgot who the other person knew what's up, but yeah, it was definitely aloe, but I'm not hurting too bad. Playing basketball and getting fouled constantly on my right arm made a little rough, but I'm okay, chat. Don't worry about me, chat. But yeah, I'm confident, Dro. Appreciate the dono. Donna J. Torres says, now back to my old question from an old stream. Does this team finally have a second round floor? Tori, just call me Magic's GOAT. I'm just going to call you Don and Jay. I didn't realize that was Magic's GOAT.
Yeah.
But, yeah, Don and Jay. I like Don. Don and Jay is cool for me. Second round floor? No, West is too good. Sorry if that's a short answer, but West is too good for us to have a second round floor. Most teams don't have a second round floor. I mean, the Lakers didn't even have a second round floor last year.
Yeah. I mean, if health wasn't an issue, I think the Lakers have the highest floor, but yeah, I agree with you. I mean, it's quite possible if Phoenix, like Salty said, is better but loses in the first round. Same with Utah. It's possible that the Clippers have barely make the playoffs, maybe get the play-in, but they have Kawhi back, and then they all of a sudden are like a scary team to play in the playoffs and go on a deep run and knock out a team like the Suns or Utah or us if we're up higher that wouldn't have in a normal year have gotten beat. It's the same thing that the Suns were worried about last year with matching up with the Lakers, and it worked out for them. But yeah.
Yeah.
And if the
I
floor,
don't know if any team has a second round floor. Like I'm not even gonna elaborate on it.
right. Well, Donna J says if the floor depends on the matchup we get in the first round, well then that's not the floor. The floor is the first round. Yeah.
Yeah, like that. Yeah, exactly. And I mean, we got the matchup we all wanted last year, and how did that go? Obviously, things are different this year, but yeah, if you're talking about the floor, then no team has a second round floor in the West. I'm confident saying that. Like, I'm confident saying the Nets and the Bucks have a second round floor in the East. Other than that, no other team in the East has a second round floor either. Because I think the Sixers could lose in the first round. I mean, they lost to the Hawks in the second round, so if they're a 3 seed going up against Miami or something, they don't have a first round floor. So, but I think Brooklyn and Milwaukee are, barring something crazy, are going to be the top 2 seeds, and whoever they play, they'll beat. So those are the only 2 teams in the league I'd be comfortable saying has a second round floor.
Yeah, I agree.
Shout out to Jared Store. Our guy Jared, $5 dono, says, you guys ain't ready for the fantasy football stream. I've had my... What does PFF stand for again? I'm not as nerdy as Jared, Eric.
Pro Football Focus, maybe? I don't know.
Pro Football Focus subscription. No. Put the... I wish I had glasses on. Say it all nerdy. I've had my Pro Football Focus subscription for a couple years. We get it, Jared. You're going to run the league. But this league is legit. You're not gonna. It's not gonna be a walk in the park for you, my guy. But we will get you on the stream.
No. You're not gonna repeat what I did and win in your first year.
Yep.
But no, this league is tough, man. I've dominated other leagues, and I haven't even made the playoffs the last 2 years in this league. Like it's cutthroat, and people are on top of every pickup, and there'll be guys picked up that you've never heard of, even if you follow Pro Football Focus or whatever fantasy stuff. And then yeah, it's definitely everyone in it. Well, maybe it'll be weaker since you're in it, Jared. Maybe it'll be easier for us to make the playoffs.
Well, he might be replacing. Somebody that I think would be weaker.
I'm just kidding.
Should be an upgrade, but September 5th is the tentative draft date. So I'll stream the draft, and we'll get Eric in here. We'll get Jared in here, and maybe I don't know. We don't talk to anybody else in the league in like a personal way. It's a bunch of people from the forum that me and Eric met on. So yeah, and Jared has a good setup. So.
I don't know if Tom's still in here, but he was in here earlier, and he's in the league.
Yeah, Tom, if you want to come on, man, we can have a draft party on stream if you want to. But I also had an idea of, I don't know, there's like three or four guys that are good players in my rec league that are like, bro, bring me on a stream. I might have to play King of the Hill, and whoever wins gets to come on the stream and turn it into a video, King of the Hill video. For September, since it's going to be dead then. I might have to do that. That could be something pretty fun, and winner gets to come on a stream. I was going to say winner gets $20, but I would rather just do winner gets to come on a stream because I've had 3 or 4 people ask me. But it would be good basketball. It would be a good video to kill some time. Just as kind of an extra upload or something. Yeah. Now everybody in chat's going to be like, let me play you too, come on the stream. But...
Where's Chiefin when you need it?
I'm not bringing anybody on the stream that I haven't like talked to enough that I'm comfortable bringing them on the stream. Or unless they're like a media guy or something like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, like Jared I've talked to for a while. Jared's a cool guy. I met Jared in person, so yeah.
Nice.
Anyway, where's Chiefin? Don't even bring him. Did you say he was in Valley Podcast stream saying I would drop at least 8 points in Summer League. Oh, my goodness. Yeah. I already know that dude is going to foul me beyond belief. I can already tell that's how it's going to be. Like, dude's going to go so try hard. But, yeah. Anyway, Blazers didn't get Christmas Day. I don't think they got screwed. I mean... I don't know. They're not like a consensus top 10 team. I think they will be a top 10 team, but I don't think they're a consensus top 10 team. So I don't blame them.
Here's the deal with that. The NBA's got to cover their bases in case Dame gets traded. We know Dame's not going to get traded, but how bad would it look if they put us on Christmas or had us like when the full schedule gets out? We're not going to have many national televised games this year, especially later in the season, because those networks are scared that we're going to be like a horrible team, and they have to account for that, even though we know it's not going to happen. I just think it's just silly to like care about that too much. Like, all the games are going to be on TV, whether they're on national TV or not. It's fine. Yep.
I got 2 messages, all right, for chat. One, we got 125 people in here, 46 likes. Hit that like button. We greatly appreciate it. Doesn't hurt you, so it only helps us. So it's a win-win, or a win and you don't lose anything. So hit that like button. Also, don't worry about, we don't get much televised games, and all these people think we're gonna miss the playoffs, and everybody thinks Dame's gonna get traded, and all this stuff. Like, just don't even worry about it, alright? Like, just go into the season like we're gonna surprise people, and go into the season just looking forward to the style of basketball we're gonna play. Just go into the season just focused on the team, not all that outside noise. Like, I'm just going into the season where it's like, I'm confident that anybody sleeping on the team now won't be right in the long term. They'll be wrong, and they'll see that they're wrong, and we're going to have a good season, and it'll be fun for us. Like, just look at it from that perspective. Because you're never going to win fighting somebody on predictions, and the West is so good that it's like, if I made predictions, I'm going to leave a team out, and all their fans are going to be like, wow, you're sleeping on us. What in the world? You're a dog. I'm trying not to cuss. You know what I mean? But you guys know how the trolls get, and how people will react to you underrating their team. You're not going to change anybody's mind. You're not going to win any arguments. It's just going to be kind of a pointless waste of time. So don't even worry about the outside noise or potential lack of, nationally televised games or any stuff like that. Just go into the season looking forward to the brand of basketball we're going to play and how we're going to prove some people wrong. That's how you should be looking at it.
Yep, I agree.
Yep. Anyway.
I mean,
go ahead.
Even prior to the years where we had to worry about Dame leaving or whatever, most people predict us not to make the playoffs last year, and most people predict us not to make the playoffs the year before. It's just,
Don't worry about that stuff. We actually had more NBA news. We had a lot of NBA news today, Eric, for the Blazers, but also the league, because I completely forgot. Patrick Beverley is on the move again. He tweeted out grit and grind. You saw this trade, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. He tweeted out grit and grind. Let's go. He's like, it's not grit and grind anymore. Now they play like the fastest tempo in the league. But like, Patrick Beverley is a grit and grind type player. So he's excited to go to Memphis. Well, he's not going to Memphis. He's going to Minnesota.
Now he's excited to play for Minnesota.
Is he? That's just fun. Hey, that's how you have to, like, honestly, just turn it into a running joke at this time. Like, just every time you get traded, if you're getting traded a bunch in the offseason, like, I don't know. Just every time you get traded, let's go Minnesota. If he gets traded to I don't know, Boston, I don't know. Like, at this point, just keep tweeting it out. Keep being excited about it. Like, it's kind of becoming a running joke because he was so hyped. Like, he was a guy that was, like, really hyped up to be a member of the Clippers, and then they trade him for Eric freaking Bledsoe. We have to talk about that trade, too. We haven't even talked about that, so we'll talk about that. But it's like, he's like, a guy that loved being a part of the Clippers, and he gets traded to Memphis, and he's happy about it, and now he ends up in Minnesota, which... Where do you want to start breaking this down? Do you want to break it down chronologically, or do you want to talk about, like, Minnesota and then...
Let's start about the first part of the trade.
Yeah, so Eric Bledsoe from Memphis to the LA Clippers. Memphis, of course, got Eric Bledsoe and Steven Adams in the Jonas Valanciunas trade, where they swapped the 17th pick for the 10th pick. That's a win for Memphis, especially considering what they were able to turn Eric Bledsoe into, which is just crazy to me. They're kind of going Jackson mode. Jackson had the Grizzlies in their mock-off season and made a bunch of trades, and they were all pretty good. So Eric Bledsoe to the Clippers. The Clippers sent back Pat Beverley, Daniel Oturu, and who was the other?
Rajon Rondo.
Rajon Rondo. So I don't like this trade for the Clippers whatsoever. I don't understand why they did it.
Yeah, I don't either. Other than I guess they
money.
saved $30 million in luxury tax this year or something just from the trade, which they're obviously maybe thinking they're not going to be as good as they should be, but this makes them a lot worse, in my opinion, and makes it tougher for them to stay afloat in the Western Conference while trying to wait for Kawhi to come back, hopefully. So, I don't know. I think if I had to pick, I'd rather have Beverley over Bledsoe, and they gave up more for him. So,
yeah. And Bledsoe's declined the past 3 years, so maybe he bounces back, and it looks like a good trade. But, I mean, just looking at things now with how he's been declining and assuming he's still going to decline, because that's kind of been the pattern the last 3 years, like, I'm not sure he's worse than Beverley, but Beverley's a better fit. Because Beverley is a better three-point shooter and a better defensive player as a 3-and-D point guard, which fits better next to Paul George and Kawhi Leonard than a guy who struggles to shoot threes and isn't as good of a defender.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't like it fit-wise. Just straight up Beverley for Bledsoe, I would not have done it if I was the Clippers. Now, obviously, I'm not considering financial... I'm not considering the financial aspect of this with talking about those two in a straight-up swap, but... so obviously they saved money, so that made the deal a little bit better. But in terms of the players they traded, also losing Rondo, and then Oturu could have maybe been their backup center if Ibaka gets hurt, and he's been a bit injury prone over his career. It's just not a good trade. And on Memphis's end, it's a great trade, especially considering what they turned Beverley into, which we'll talk about in a sec.
Yeah, I wouldn't say great. I mean, yeah, they flipped. I guess that's about as good as they can do for Bledsoe, but still wasn't super high on. It's just weird what they're doing. It's like
Memphis.
Yeah, to me, they're just making trades and interchanging pieces without really considering. I don't know. They're just a weird team to me. Like, they're not really making trades for a purpose. They're just making them to hopefully make more trades later, and I don't really understand exactly what their plan is, like how they're trying to build around Ja and JJ. But yeah,
they turned Eric Bledsoe into Rondo, Oturu, Jarrett Culver, and Juan Hernan Gomez.
Yeah,
that's a win.
Yeah, I agree. That's on paper. It's a win. It's just also possible that Culver never develops because he's been absolutely terrible his first 2 years. Juancho wasn't great last year, so I don't know.
Well, Juancho probably doesn't play because they have a lot of bigs, right? So it's Beverley didn't really serve a role on that team because he's not necessarily a guy that you play next to Ja, and Ja's going to be playing 35 minutes a game. They already have Tyus Jones. They also got Rondo back, so one of those two guys will play probably 13 minutes a game as the backup point guard behind Ja. You didn't really need Beverley, so getting a guy who maybe taking Culver out of Minnesota and putting him in Memphis, which has done a decent job of developing players, maybe that's what Culver needed, and you're basically trading a guy that you don't need, and you're getting a guy who could become a pretty good role player, in my opinion. I still think he has potential to be a 3-and-D guy who can do some stuff off the dribble and play the 2 or the 3. That's kind of the prototypical type of wing that they need, in my opinion. So that aspect of it I like.
The thing is, for me, so they give up Valanciunas, who's by far better than any player.
Yeah, I'm not talking about Valanciunas.
But that's how they got Bledsoe, though. So
yeah, I'm just talking about the Bledsoe trade in isolation. The Bledsoe, the trades that happened the past couple of days for them are good.
But then I just don't like any of their direction because I feel like they ended up with more players. Sure, I guess they have more depth or something, but I just don't like any of those moves compared to just keeping Valanciunas and the 17th pick. If we're talking about them having Valanciunas still and your boy who got picked at 17, Trey Murphy, I'm thinking they had a much better offseason than making all these other trades on top of that. So
the Valanciunas trade was not good.
Mm-hmm. I just don't get what. Like I said, I don't feel like they have a direction. I feel like they're just, we'll just trade this guy for this guy, and then let's hope to trade this guy later for something else, and they just keep on doing that, which is fine. I don't.
Yeah, that's kind of like an overarching theme of their offseason. Like their whole offseason, I'm not necessarily saying it's good.
Yeah.
Because they lack direction. Right. But if you're just looking at this move in isolation, I think it's good.
Yeah,
that's kind of the difference.
I thought this was a win for the Grizzlies. They won the trade for sure. I just don't understand why either team did the trade. It just makes no sense. It just surprised me, looking at that and being why? Why did these teams make that trade?
Yeah. Well, Minnesota. What? Minnesota, dude. Poor Timberwolves fans. Anthony Edwards really liked having Ricky Rubio there last year. He was their backup point guard behind D'Angelo Russell. And they end up trading him to Cleveland for cap savings, right? Didn't they get nothing back in that trade?
They got Taurean Prince back in the trade.
Oh, they get Taurean Prince. Yay.
Yeah.
And then they swap Juan Hernangomez and Culver for Patrick Beverley. So you basically swapped out. Oh God! You basically swapped out Rubio for Beverley.
Rubio and it was Rubio, Hernangomez, and Culver, and I think a second-round pick for Prince and
Beverley.
Yeah.
Why? What's the plan? Are those guys going to help them make the playoffs? They gave up on the guy they drafted 6th overall 2 years ago to get Beverley and Taurean Prince. It's just... Dude, at this point, just trade Cat. Because, people say, at this point the Blazers should trade Dame. The Blazers improved the coach. They're a playoff team. They win games with Dame. Do they win enough? Probably not, you know what I mean? But, it's not a situation where it's the Blazers are constantly in last place. You're gonna trade for 2 role players that aren't... Taurean Prince is not good. Pat Beverley is okay. It's you might be getting worse talent-wise, but you're also getting older. It doesn't make sense. What are they trying to accomplish? You talking about, Memphis having no direction. Minnesota has even less direction.
They didn't really sign anyone either.
Didn't sign anyone. Lost their pick this year, and the travesty that was the Andrew Wiggins, D'Angelo Russell trade. I mean, they traded the 11th pick and Sarge for Culver in 2019. What's funny is, we really liked that pick. We really liked that trade for Minnesota and really disliked it for Phoenix.
Mm-hmm.
Because we were like, what in the world? They drafted Cameron Johnson at 11? Are you kidding me? And now it's that was a pretty good pick, and Culver is the bust. In a redraft, I'd take Cam Johnson over Culver.
Yeah, right now.
And they also got Sarge out of it. So, yeah, it was the one move we thought was good for Minnesota is just bad. Because Culver's not it. And then they trade him for Beverley.
And I think Vanderbilt's still a free agent, right? They haven't re-signed him yet.
They haven't, yeah. And they didn't try, they didn't, I don't know, they didn't try and do anything. They didn't buy into the draft. They could have at least gotten into the draft and taken a Greg Brown or something. You know what I mean? I don't know. They literally just sat on their hands this offseason. People say that about us, but, we replaced our coach, upgraded that. We upgraded our big man off the bench. I think our bench unit is going to be better. We bought into the draft, drafted Greg Brown. For as little as we did, we still did much more than the Timberwolves.
Yeah.
And what they did made no sense.
And, Reese says, Beverley is actually, I think, that's underrated. I think he is a good fit there. But it doesn't make them like anywhere near a playoff team. So like I don't get trading for a guy like that. I forgot who it was, but someone joked that maybe the Philadelphia 76ers really want Pat Beverley or something, because there was some rumor today that the Minnesota Timberwolves have not given up trying to get Simmons and are desperate, but that Philly doesn't want anything that they're offering. So
yeah, okay. Minnesota is the best fit for Simmons.
Yeah, well,
in my opinion,
yeah.
because
assuming
like he
they don't
like
trade Cat in the trade.
yeah, well, yeah, like if they keep Cat, Simmons is the best player because Cat's like he's a 3-point shooter, like one of the best 3-point shooters in the league. Even though he's a center, he struggles defensively. You need 4 shooters around Ben Simmons, and you need like high level defenders next to Cat. Those two guys can fit in both scenarios. So you also take Ben Simmons and put him in a location where he's not going to be distracted by Instagram models or maybe there's Instagram models in Minnesota.
He's not. Man. Well, if he didn't want to go to Portland or Toronto, he's certainly not going to want to go to Minnesota.
Yeah, well, he needs to grow up.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And who knows if that was true or whatever. But like, I don't know. You know, I could see Minnesota giving up like 4 first-round picks for Ben Simmons and being like, "Yes, this is our future."
The problem is they have
making the playoffs.
They probably have to trade D'Angelo Russell, and I'm sure Philly probably doesn't want Russell, so they need another team for D'Lo, and there's not a lot of teams that would want him.
Okay, but what about Anthony Edwards and Pat Bev? And
like
Filler.
4 first.
And like that's such an overpay with 4 first, but like I don't know, 2 or 3. Like I could see Philadelphia going after Anthony Edwards and like valuing Anthony Edwards higher than CJ McCollum because he's on a rookie contract. He's much younger, cheaper.
I don't think they'd trade him.
Minnesota, yeah, but it's also Minnesota. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like if there's trades that shock us almost every offseason. There hasn't been one other than maybe Westbrook. And that I could see that being the type of trade to shock us.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So,
well, Naz Reid has first-round pick value, right?
Yeah. But, you know, they got Andre Drummond as their backup center. So, they wouldn't... Oh, my goodness, dude. What?
They just re-signed Embiid today, too, so...
Yeah, which everybody was like, "Oh, Embiid's gonna force his way to Portland." Like, where did that even come from?
But Tori, did you see that clip of Ben Simmons where the guy goes over the pick and then he dribbles past the stationary defender and dunks the ball? Like that's supposed to show us some. It's funny. That's the only clip they showed of that too.
I don't even know what to say. Is that supposed to be a joke? But it's like it wasn't anywhere close to obvious that it was supposed to be a joke. It was like it was serious. And
I know, because whoever posted the clip was like, what other player could do this? It's like every player in the
could
league
dribble to the rim and dunk. Yeah. What other point guard could dribble to the rim and dunk?
Maybe there's a few point guards who can't dunk. I guess maybe. But...
Like I guess Raul Neto couldn't do that, man. And maybe Chris Paul would struggle. And Isaiah Thomas ain't doing that. So
I don't know. I saw Chris Paul throw down in the All-Star game just a few months ago. So.
Like the 6'10" point forward could dribble to the rim and dunk. It's just like the dude is like the dude can't make a shot outside of 3 feet, and you're sitting here posting practice clips of him dribbling through stationary defenders. For whatever reason, the defender is going over the screen on Ben Simmons, which I don't know why you would ever do that. It never happens, so it's already not realistic from the get-go. And then the dude goes and dunks. Bro, it's like everybody's saying that's the one thing he can do.
Yeah,
that's the only shot he can make. Like I don't understand.
Well, and too, like it's in a practice situation where, in a game, he would have to be worried about getting fouled or whatever, and not even getting to the rim. So yeah, it's stupid.
Doesn't make sense, man. Does not make sense. Dude, dude, what is wrong with everything? Like, just, I don't know. That's funny because you brought that up when we were talking about, like, team building. And that's just another situation where, like, Philadelphia, they're bringing in Andre Drummond, and they still have Ben Simmons. They want way too much for him. And,
or is a genius,
and Simmons is posting stuff like that, or whoever's trainer was posting stuff like that. What... Like, I don't know if we'd be completely trashed as GMs, Eric. I don't understand a lot of stuff.
Honestly, that clip to me proves that he's not fixing his jump shot, because if he was and it looked good, or he was putting in the work to make it better, that clip would have been of him pulling up from three or shooting 3-point shots. So the fact that it was of him dunking, which we all know he can do, just shows me that he's not going to ever fix his shot, and he's going to have the same problems, which is why I don't want to trade for him. And yeah.
Yep. Shervin, who cares about Philly fans being thirsty, man? Is there any Philly fans that still get excited when they see footage of Ben Simmons hitting threes? Or are they finally, like, to the realization that the dude hitting threes in an open gym, like hitting 3 threes in a row, is nothing? Bro, what's funny? In my rec league today, I hit 3 threes in a row from NBA range. And I thought to myself, I'm like, dang, man, if Ben Simmons did that... At least like a couple years ago when Ben Simmons did that, 3 threes in a row from NBA range in an open gym, everybody's like, oh, he's going to come back a shooter. Where's my hype, man? I mean, that's what's funny is like there's multiple guys that I play with in my rec league that can hit 3 NBA range threes in a row. Like, it's not special. It's not like, but it's like Ben Simmons does it and it's like, oh my goodness, he learned how to shoot. And I always try to tell people, I'm like, it doesn't mean anything. Dude, like, Eric, I feel like you in an open gym could hit 3 NBA threes in a row.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe. Could you?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, exactly. You could hit 3 NBA threes in a row. Shoot, Reese could probably hit 3 NBA threes in a row in an open gym. Maybe I'm hyping up too many people, but, yeah, like, dude, it's nothing special. I don't understand. Like, I don't understand why people see him make a 3 and it's like, he's going to be a good NBA 3-point shooter. I never understood that.
This leads into another player.
What?
Antonio Blakeney.
Dude, when are people just going to, like, I don't understand why people who only watched him play once didn't trust me on him.
Well, there's still people after the game today saying that we need to sign him and that he's an elite scorer and all that. Shout out to Jerome for the $2 donut, says Tori for the next final roster spot. Yeah. I'm sure Tori would take it.
Sure, I'll do it. Sign me, Neil. I'll gas you up. What was I just facepalming at? I forgot.
Like me.
Oh, God. Dude, I just don't understand, like, people that will watch a guy for one summer league game and then be so opinionated on him.
Yeah. So,
like,
I saw someone say he was an elite level scorer and that
in the summer league, yes.
You can't pass up on that. But here's the deal. He had 2 assists in 5 games, right? The guy does not pass the ball at all. Any player outside of maybe Keljin Blevins, who played in the NBA last year, and maybe a big man who can't handle the ball if he requires someone to set him up to score or whatever. But like any guard or perimeter player in the NBA outside of Keljin could average like 20 easily in summer league, could average 20 in any international league, could average 20 in the G League if they just had the green light to just ISO and shoot the ball like 20 times a game. Like any player at that level is skilled enough to score. And the problem is the NBA isn't good for players like that. Yes, maybe you could have a useful skill if you're super efficient at it and really good at it, but Blakeney's not even efficient like scoring. So it's just not
in the NBA.
Yeah, so
he's already played in the NBA. Like, I don't understand. Like, he's already played in the NBA and for 2 years and was very inefficient and didn't pass the ball and didn't play defense, and then he ended up out of the league. Even though every summer league he'll have 20-point games. And I try and explain that to people. I just don't, he's no different than he was 4 years ago. I watched him in person drop 37. It wasn't against the Blazers, but it was when he was playing for the Bulls Summer League team. Mm-hmm. That Summer League was when Bryn Forbes was, popping off, too. I saw Antonio Blakeney drop 37 in person in 2017. He is no different. And he's had his chance, and he was not good whatsoever in the NBA. And I try to explain that to people, but because they watched him play really good in one summer league game, they're like, yeah, he's an NBA player. Like, dude, there's nothing new here. He's been doing this for years, and he's already proven that he's not NBA caliber. And there's always guards in the summer league that score the ball well, and it does not translate to them being good players in the NBA, because you put Antonio Blakeney in the NBA, and he's not efficient, so his scoring is not productive. His scoring is not positive. He'll still get points, but it won't be efficient enough to justify giving him a bunch of shots. And then on everything else, in terms of the game of basketball, he's nowhere close to NBA level in terms of defensive ability, in terms of playmaking, passing, whatnot. It's not hard. I don't understand why people buy in to score first summer league guards scoring the ball well in summer league.
Well, it's even worse. It's mind-boggling. The Blazers do not need someone like that. That's the last thing they need, right? If I had to say the one player they do not need is someone that plays like Antonio Blakeney does, right? They don't need those skills whatsoever. They have plenty of those guys. Just add a non-defender scorer guard.
People are outing themselves. Why are people trying to expose their b-ball IQ by standing for Antonio Blakeney?
Yeah. As Sherman says, I'd 100%, 100 times out of 100 take McLemore over Blakeney.
Is there anybody in this chat who really wants Blakeney? Shanghai CJ, 5-minute timeout for saying the magic number. Is there anybody in here? Please, chat, please, can we all be united that we do not want Antonio freaking Blakeney? Can we all agree?
I mean,
if you want him, speak up in chat and try and make a good case. And it'd have to be the best case anybody's ever made in chat to even have any sort of effect on anything.
You could do a poll.
Okay, yeah, let's do a poll.
The only way I wouldn't be pissed if we signed him, I'd still be mad, but not quite as mad, is if we signed him to a two-way.
I'd still be pissed. I'd be more pissed than Blevins, because at least Blevins is Dame's cousin, and he serves a purpose. Blevins would serve more of a purpose on a two-way than him.
Yeah. But, I kind of get it, you just pick up another score in case someone gets hurt or something. But, overall, don't want him on the team.
Bro, I'd rather have Raul Neto as a scorer.
You love Raul Neto, though.
I don't love Raul Neto.
Yeah. I'd rather have Moutier than him as well.
All right, here's your poll, chat. Don't mess it up. Here's the thing. Blakeney, minus 10 today. The game before, minus, he was a minus 15. The game before, he was a minus 19. Plus minus the summer league doesn't mean much. It's just it's not like the dude is carrying the team and leading them to anything. We beat the Clippers by 20. Let's see his plus minus for that game. Oh, plus 11. Good for him. Greg Brown, though, was a plus 18, Eric.
Nice.
Led the team.
Well, we talked about this after the first game. It's we know you can score, dude. Why don't you show us some other things you've been working on?
That's the problem.
That's exactly what I said, right? It's okay, dude. Yeah, you got hot and you won us the game in the fourth quarter or whatever. But it's I want to see you use that ability to create for others or play some defense or show something that you've been working on. And he hasn't done anything other than I can still jack up shots. Yeah, it's.
I am very disappointed right now, Eric.
How
I
much?
think it might be time to end the stream.
We have 10 votes out of 41, or no, 11 votes out of 41. Jeez.
Whoever voted yes.
I think they just are voting yes because you said that.
I mean, to me, it's like they're voting yes to end the stream. Like, anyway, I'll catch y'all later. Peace out. Go Blazers.
No.
Bye.
No, don't do it really.
See you later.
Don't do it really.
I'm gone.
All right.
Bye.
Let me stream it.
Nope. Bye.
All right. Hello, everyone.
Nope. Bye. Anyway, I don't know what that background is. I did not know what was behind these, but yeah, come on, y'all. Disappointed. Never been so disappointed in chat. Nolan Smith,
down to
Alex.
22%.
That's a triggering word. All right.
He's a Cleveland fan. He doesn't.
Don't ever say Nolan Smith in chat again. That's a bannable name to drop. That and the Cupcake Man. Eric Maynor.
So speaking of the roster spot, though, interesting tidbits. I think you said you missed the beginning of the game or forgot it was on or something for a minute.
I did.
But so towards the beginning of the game, I may have misheard this, but they said they were talking about Moutier, how he had a chance to play last year. He said several teams called him, but he needed a get right year mentally or whatever. And then they said that he mentioned something about possibly having a promise to get signed by a team after this. They said it wasn't necessarily the Blazers. It could have been any team. But yeah,
I feel like it is the Blazers. That's how we're gonna round out the roster, man.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, it's possible. Like I mentioned earlier in this stream, if we're only going to carry 14, I think our other signing has to be a center.
We're only carrying 14, though.
Well, I don't know if we will or not. I'm just saying if we do, I think we need a center because both Zeller and Nurk have had trouble staying healthy. So
yeah.
I feel like we need, especially if it's like a 4-5 combo, like a Giles or a Scal or someone who can play both positions. So I feel like we need one of those kind of players still as our third string. So if we do sign Moutier, I still think we need to sign a center. I don't understand why we wouldn't. But yeah. Beerus, I know you're obsessed with Luka Garza, but he is on the Pistons, and they're not going to waive him, so yeah.
Honestly, Georgios Kalazakis is better than Luka Garza. There, I said it. Kalazakis didn't play today, man. That's disappointing. That is my, most obscure Stan guy. That literally makes no sense, but yeah, that's my guy.
But so I was talking earlier about a point guard who's good enough to play if we need him, but not good enough to demand minutes. And I guess Moutier kind of fits that. And he's a little bigger. You'd hope he'd get in a little better playing shape because he seemed a little overweight. But yeah, if he can get his weight down and be a little quicker, he's definitely was a good distributor, showed he could still get his shot occasionally, create. So I don't think that's a terrible signing. I just don't think it makes sense to sign him. I really just hope we don't sign anyone out of our guys, but yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
And Hal Cooper was asking earlier about Trendon Watford being not guaranteed. No, he signed a two-way. We have Trendon Watford on the team. He can be with the team all year per the new two-way rules that have been kept from COVID last year. And so we can keep him on the team, and he can practice with the team and be on the team all year. Now, unless we sign someone, or unless we sign him to an actual roster spot by the end of the season, he cannot play in the playoffs. But that's the only thing.
Yes. Anything else you want to talk about?
Trevin asked how Giles does not have a team. I did not know. I think
the Stotts killed his career.
Yes.
Rest in peace.
Hopefully he comes back on a minimum. I would like that a lot if we did re-sign him.
Yeah. Do you want our third string center to be injury prone?
Not necessarily, but I don't know.
Because knowing us, we'll need a fourth string center then.
Yeah. Well, then we have to use our 15th spot.
Yeah. We'll sign frickin' Tyler Zeller to a 10-day.
Tyler.
What was the third one's name? Luke? Wasn't it Luke Zeller?
Something like that, yeah. I don't think he ever made the league, though.
DeMarcus Cousins. I would like DeMarcus Cousins as our third string center.
Mm-hmm.
And you can tell Dame, hey, we got a big name player. There you go.
Hey, all-star.
To you retiring here. Yeah, I'm surprised DeMarcus Cousins hasn't signed yet. He hasn't been as bad as I feel like people think he's been.
It's probably only being offered very minimal roles or third string roles.
Yeah.
So he's probably
I don't know. People think he's a bad defender. I don't think he's a bad defender. What does Reese, what does your stat say on DeMarcus Cousins? Is he a good defender or is he a bad defender? The past couple years or whatever you got for him. I wanna hear it. But from all accounts, seems like good positional defender, strong, good low post defender, not the most mobile. But outside of mobility issues, he's been solid, if not good, defensively. That's kind of the takeaway I've had from him. And offensively, he can still knock down a three, can still, pass the ball a bit. I don't know. He's for a third string center, you take that definitely.
Man, I wish the Timberwolves would be dumb and unrestrict Vanderbilt.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
We're one of the few teams that have our tax mid-level to go after him.
Well, they just traded Wancho, so...
Yeah.
I mean, why doesn't O'Shea just send him an offer sheet since he's not being signed? Just send him a $5 million a year offer sheet.
Well, it's possible he has, and
I guess.
Vanderbilt declined it.
Yeah, maybe.
He ranked 130 out of the 362 players eligible, so that's actually pretty good.
Yeah, see, Reese? Told you. But and your stat doesn't lie, so I'm right, so. But Vanderbilt, yeah, 2-year, second-year player option, starting at $5 million a year, because I think his qualifying offer is less than that.
Mm-hmm.
If he can't get, I think he would take that over the qualifying offer. He absolutely would take that over the qualifying offer. It just depends on if he can get more with Minnesota. I think if we offered him that, Minnesota just matches it. That's the problem there. But if we got Vanderbilt, dude, that would be legit. Because he's 22 years old. He's not much of a scorer, but shot almost 62% from 2. He can play the 4 or the 5. He's just not a good shooter. He cannot hit threes, but defensively he's really, really good. He can guard potentially 5 positions, and he's young. As a backup 4, I would take him for sure.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I'd play him over Derrick Jones Jr. though.
Yeah.
But I hope
play
honestly,
the 5 some in a...
Yeah. He could be... Yeah, that could be insurance as a small ball third string center, basically. But I almost wonder if we don't sign a backup center, if Greg Brown is the third string center.
I don't know.
Well, okay. outside of Nurkic and Zeller, which guy would you play next to center that's on the roster right now? I guess Rocco.
Yeah, you
Maybe?
have to play Rocco.
Would you play Rocco at center over Brown? If you had to give Brown minutes, would you...
I mean, he's only like 6'7", 6'8", with a shorter wingspan than Nas and Rocco, right? So
Doesn't he have a... What is his wingspan?
I think it's right at around 7 feet.
Yeah. Measured at more than 7 feet, according to what I see, which...
It's right over 7 feet.
Yeah.
It was like 7 feet and a quarter or something.
Standing... let me see standing reach. 8'11" standing reach. Which is higher than Nas's. Like, that's a... What's the average for a center is like 9'2", so 3 inches short in terms of standing reach. But, like, he's quick off the floor, and he's pretty strong. It would just be, like, mentally if he could handle that. But, like, I feel like physically, like, he could be a small ball 5.
Yeah.
It's just, like, would he be able to be, like, good enough to not hurt you? That's the question. And in that scenario, they definitely just play Rocco as small ball 5 and, like, free up some wing minutes for a Tony Snell or something.
Mm-hmm.
But
yeah, I don't know. I don't like the idea of that being the plan. But yeah, I mean, I guess at this roster point, like that's why I say we need to do another. We have to sign another big, in my opinion.
yeah, Isaiah Hartenstein.
Reese would love that. Yeah,
Reese is the leader of that bandwagon.
I wouldn't mind Hartenstein. Just yeah.
Can't with the Twitter stuff, bro. Anyway, it's past midnight. Anything left to talk about, chat, that you want us to talk about, or you want to talk about, Eric, or whatever?
Nope, I think we covered most of it. Yeah, we have a stream in 2 days again.
Yeah, the stream in 2 days, we'll talk about channel stuff. Future merch, the website, maybe a little bit more. Some things like the videos I plan on doing in September. What else? Highlights channel. We're gonna do stuff on the highlights channel. Need to kind of like set that in stone, so I'll ask you guys for feedback on that. You guys can kind of help with that type of stuff. So I think there was something else, but yeah, that's what we'll be talking about on Thursday. Nothing like formal, but for those of you who join us over here on the second channel, you guys are, legitimate. Because you watch the second channel, so we can talk about that with y'all. And yeah, it's always good to get feedback on stuff regarding the channel. So that is the plan Thursday. And then we'll take a week off, and we'll be back the Monday after that, which will be... When is that going to be? The 30th of August? Yeah, August 30th. So stream on Thursday the 19th, then week after that, week off. And then we'll come back Monday the 30th of August. And then starting September 1st, you'll have daily content. That's the plan right now. So I'm going to use the week off to pre-record stuff. And I'll tell you what some of those videos are on Thursday. Anyway, Travis says you're going to need a third channel at the rate this one is growing. Well, the third channel would be the highlights channel. So that we'll talk about with you guys on Thursday. Preseason starts the 4th of October. Anything else, Eric?
Nope, thank you everyone for tuning in. It's been another fun stream, and always appreciate all of you who tune in.
Yep. Thank you for making us a part of your Tuesday night. We will see you again in a couple days. Until then, have a good one. As always, peace out. Go Blazers.